Hello everyone and welcome back to Cruel and Unusual Storytime. I am your host Simon Dexter, and today we are resuming our read-through of Pacifica's Wish. Last episode kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. It got a bit too drawn out and felt too stally and too padded, and I didn't much care for that. Really hoping this chapter steps it up a bit. If not, we're going to have a bad time for the next 10 chapters after this, because this is a good 13 chapter long story. Don't you buzz at me, phone. I hope that didn't show up in the recording. Okay, so sit back, relax, and let's enjoy some more Pacifica's Wish. Why don't we? Chapter 3. 3 years later. Holy shit, that's a time jump. I see. Well, give me your lunch money, I shouted at the pathetic, hunched, overweight figure in front of me. You could stand to go on a diet anyway. Well, it looks like things didn't turn out so happy after that. Even though she could have just befriended Gretchen and Greta or whatever fuck her name is and Candy. They could have been stand-ins. But I guess no. Just easier to lapse back into old things just to pad out the story some fucking more. My two partners in crime holding the target in my derision? Derision. It's still kind of early for me. I'm reading all these Pacifica's wishes in one go, so you'll forgive me if I'm still kind of tired after last time you followed me. I don't remember because I held my palm open to her expectantly. No, please, she sniffled. My mom has to work all week to give me this money. We can't afford to lose. That's my problem, how? I pulled my face close to hers, and she could see the malice in my eyes. Listen, I don't care about your pathetic mother or any of your saddle family. I'm Pacifica Northwest, bitches. I wish. That would have been a little funnier anyway. I always get what I want. I bared my oh-so-white teeth. Now hand it over. You're over-abusing the caps lock really bad. It's starting to get a bit more irritating this time around just because... Why would you take such a step back? No one liked her when she was like this. Is this to make a point? It better be to make a point or I'll be very pissed off. Looking utterly broken and with a fair few tears running down her chubby cheeks, my victim for the day eventually came to the right decision and dug deep in her pockets for the $5 I knew she had on her. I will admit the writer has gone back to actually writing paragraphs rather than just line segments, so this is a bit more easy to read, although still kind of writing in run-ons, which is a bit difficult on the tongue. Setting it away, I nodded at my two friends, Tiffany and Chantal. I finally remember their names, hooray! To set her free. Yeah, you finally remember the names after 3 years. That's an author's not going to be very pissed too, because only my immortal writers do author's notes in the middle of the story. It's fortune cookie fortune. It's just sitting there and I was playing with it. I do that sometimes. But before she had a chance to run off, I grabbed her by the collar and hissed, "Don't forget, same time, same place tomorrow, and you better not forget. I know people, and I can make life very uncomfortable for you around here." This isn't going to be a fun episode. With that last threat, I released her to go and blub her little fat heart out in the girl's bathroom. I don't think blub is really a verb to cry. Blubber, perhaps, but... My two besties found her distress absolutely hilarious, and I could hear them telling me, "You showed her..." Sif. They're calling her Sif as in Pacific. Okay. I went to school with these losers like that anyway. Me, I didn't laugh at all, not even a chuckle. Not like I even needed her $5. In fact, I planned to burn it on the way home. That's just pointless then. The main thing I got at picking on those I considered inferior to me were as follows. Power. I put those losers in their place and made sure that every day I broke their spirits, they'd know who the queen of the schoolyard is. Control. By humiliating them through intimidation and bullying, they'd gotten used to obeying my every command. A perfect preparation for the day when I took over the Northwest Empire. Distraction. These antics, as crude as they may seem, helped to take my focus away from the gaping hole in my... Hey, Sif, are you okay? You aren't becoming a space cadet, are you? Haha, that's funny, because she's spacing out. Fuck you. I know it was supposed to be lame, but I'm still allowed to take up my aggression on the character. It's totally fair. I suddenly felt a tug on my arm from Tiffany. She's the one with the penchant for designer handbags and giving swirlies to nerds. I can only think of Revenge of the Nerds whenever I read shit like this. Because that would be, like, totally uncool, sure, Culture knows and discussed. Astronauts do cooler shit than you'll ever do in your lifetime. They get to go to space. Space is scary as shit, but it's still cool as shit, and you mind your tone, Missy. Watch what you say to her, shouted Chantal, the dimmer of my duo of followers. That was a bit of a tongue twister. Who always seemed to come to class wearing the same colors as me. She's probably thinking about the great party we're having tonight for her 16th birthday. It's going to be totally awesome. It is. She shrieked those last two words in an irritating, girlish screech. My favorite noise in the world. Hair's bugging the fuck out of me again. Always the hair. I lost my spot. There we go. Then she paused for a minute herself, as if she was trying to figure out some complicated mathematical equation. To be fair for her, that could be 2 plus 2. Okay, I will admit, her little inside dialogue is actually kind of funny this time. Unlike last chapter, it was just getting kind of annoying and berating. At last she asked me, "We are still invited, right?" "No. For that comment, you will sit in the closet for the entire evening." Brought to you by Coca-Cola. I'm not actually sponsored by Coca-Cola. Please don't sue. Of course you are, I reassured both of them. It's going to be off the chain, as the young folks say. There's going to be fireworks, the biggest buffet you've ever seen, pony rides, which for a 16-year-old birthday party is kind of odd, although it would actually work in this universe to be kind of ironic, I suppose. A fashion show, a mini cinema, which only 2 people can sit in. So me, and whoever brings me the best present. And guess who'll be providing the music? Not me. The two of them looked at each other before going back to me with slowly developing expressions of amazement. "You don't mean," Tiffany gasped. "Yep. Several times." "Oh, the boy band, right." Not to say, what? "And they're premiering their latest single, and they're devoting it to me," I boasted while glancing haughtily at my minions. And no, I don't mean the little yellow guys, and shut the hell up, you don't need to reference things. That's your last warning for this chapter. I let the frozen stuff go last chapter, but I don't forgive so easily. OMG, OMFG, OMFQQS. I'm trying to remember that BoJack reference, but I just can't, just because it's so fucking long. If you haven't watched BoJack Horseman yet, and you have Netflix, watch it. It's a fantastic show. And, like, episode 3, someone does a really long one of these, and it's really funny to me. Anyway, came the predictable response from the pair. They immediately went into what can only be described as full-blown girly meltdown. There was screaming, there was jumping, there were kisses on the cheeks. That's weird, but whatever. And then there was the hugs. I enjoyed basking in their affection, as pitiful as it was. Apart from hugging, it reminded me much of that night in my manor when Chantal offered a handy interruption. "Girlfriend, this is like the best news ever." You really nailed making them as annoying as fuck, and I appreciate that. I really do. That's not an insult. We'll tell everyone we saw them live, in person. Yeah, that's what live means, you dumb bitch. That was really rude of me. I am so sorry. I have my moments where I just can't rein in my mouth in time. And we have you to thank for that. That's why you're top of the food chain in this pitiful little town, Sif. No one else could pull this off. I think I'm going for a grime at worm tongue at this point. She exclaimed in delight. If they can make references, so can I. So don't you give me crap. I examined my nails while arrogantly grinning. Yes, it is true, isn't it? I am pretty cool and hot. Those two temperatures shouldn't mix. Why else would I be going out with the top quarterback of the team? Everything must meet my standards. And Chad, you named him Chad. Oh my god. That was perfect choice in naming just because of how painfully generic the name Chad is for a football quarterback boyfriend love interest. Okay, this chapter's better so far. It's at least keeping my attention and amusing me. So that's all that matters. Chad's the one good enough for me. You'll see him tonight. Too, in fact, everyone who's anyone will be there because you know our number one rule. No riffraff, we yelled in unison before falling about giggling on the floor. Where are they? I thought they were outside bullying someone. Does it mean they're giggling on the concrete? Because that'd be very uncomfortable. Laughter felt somewhat forced, though, but I brushed it aside. After all, what could I possibly have to worry about? I had a huge party to look forward to, a total hunk on me as my date, massive inheritance coming my way, even though you just spent an entire 20 minutes explaining why that shit didn't matter to you last episode. So again, the step back is a bit weird to me, but seeing as this chapter is a bit more better written so far, I'll let it slide. Just know you're on thin ice, because I haven't forgotten. I just read chapter 2 a second ago. And pretty much everyone's respect to do as I pleased. Was respect or fear? Whatever, who cares? Both of them accomplish the same thing now, I guess. Just then the bell rang to interrupt my private thoughts. Good. I didn't like to think for too long. It made stuff too complicated. Damn my emotions. Wish I could purge my brain of every single one. It'd make things so much easier. Then you'd be a bona fide Disney villain. Actually, you'd probably be more of a bona fide anime villain, because that's more of their spiel, I suppose. You ever notice I like the word spiel? I say it a lot. Incidentally, you may be wondering why I didn't even flinch when the bell sounded. Let's just say, oh, right, the bell thing. I got over my fear of that particular musical instrument some time ago, even though I never recall that ever being a fear and just more of a Pavlovian reflex of sorts. It's not like my parents have had to use it for ages anyway. I'm pretty much finished the article of what they've envisioned for me from the day I was born now. My pals tutted at this interruption to our little friendship moment, but I had little choice but to obey its shrill tone. Oh well, back to sitting with all the freaks and weirdos. Call you later, Sif. Careful. The freaks and weirdos will one day rule the world, and you can't do shit about it. Tiffany waved as she made her way back into class, pushing a girl with glasses off a water fountain as she walked past her. I just rolled my eyes. Classic Tiff. Chantal just stood there. I could tell she was thinking of bunking off to go down the mall. Not a good idea if you're as far behind as she is. Admittedly, yes. I took her hand. Tell you what, Shan. If you manage to stay in school for the rest of the day, I'll see to it you get a personal meet and greet with several times this evening. How does that sound? As predicted, her face looked ready to explode with excitement, and it seemed like she was ready for round 2 of acting like a complete loon in the middle of the school corridor. No, so it's one of those weird inside schools. Keep in mind, I went to high school in fucking Arizona, where there wasn't a lot of inside, more outside. So I kind of forget that the norm is shit happening inside hallways. But especially if you didn't want to get caught. Mindful of this fact, I put my hand on her mouth just before the eruption could take place. Listen, there's just one more condition, I firmly stated. Mm-hmm, she mumbled between my delicate fingers. Don't come tonight in a foam dress. Do you think you can manage that? I pleaded. Mm-hmm, she nodded her head. All right, she's got to wear the foam dress. Okay, this chapter is actually so far much better. I feel her trying, at least. Thinking she was over the worst of her almost outburst, I released her from my grip. She started jibber-jabbering almost immediately. Yes, Sif, whatever you say. Sif, I've got this lovely pink dress at home I haven't worn yet. In fact, I think there's tickets still in there. Do you think Deep Chris will like it? What about Deep Chris? I remember Deep Chris. Sorry, I love Gravity Falls, so the references kind of tickle me. Go, I said, slowly losing my patience, not to mention the will to live. Chantal looked a bit taken aback for a moment, but acceded. I don't know. Must have been in their vocabulary lesson for the day, because I have no idea what the fuck this word is. If it's even a word. I was going to say acceded to my demands and gradually moved off, but not without glancing behind her and waving to me every few steps. I sighed. Why exactly did I hang out with her again? Oh yeah, because she's loaded. Reason enough, I guess. But you're more loaded. So, kind of a hierarchy thing, don't you think? I mean, if you're going to follow it anyway, you might as well see her as lower than you. Maybe that's me, I don't know. If we're going to be shallow, let's be shallow, right? So let's return to my own group for the session. Business studies, FYI. Didn't care, but thank you. Especially since it's, high school. I know there's some business classes in high school, but... Suddenly I felt a pair of arms grasp from behind me. As two hands made their way towards my unmentionables... Yeah, don't go Deborah goes to Taco Bell on me, please, for love of God. I'm sure it won't get that bad. But I still have fucking PTSD flashbacks of that shit sometimes. I gasped and spun around, ready to slap the tar out of whoever it was responsible for this outrage. I stopped Mrs. Sweeney and stared. It was Chad. Chad has got to be the douchiest name. I apologize if there's anyone named Chad out there, but just from pop culture alone, the name Chad just comes off as so douchey. It just hits the wrong chord in my head, but I love it because she's using it. Or I'm assuming the writer's a she, but it could easily be a he, I guess. But I'm gonna say she just because Pacifica is a she. But she's using it so well that I can't help but like it a little bit. Yep, all 6'3" muscle of him. Yeah, we could all be 6'3" muscular if we were genetically built that way. Not that I wouldn't mind being that tall. I care less about the muscles, frankly, though. About the only good football player Gravity Falls has ever seen. Record point scorer, a perfect mix of beauty, brawn, and brain. Well, 2 out of the 3 ain't bad. Beauty, brawn, and brain. No. Total hunk, a dreamboat to match. And he was all mine. Suck on that, ladies. Yeah, I wonder what that hand, P. Seriously, does no one call me by my proper name around here? Okay, that aside was funny enough to let it slide. He grumbled as he lowered my wrist. His face doesn't take care of itself, you know. I sighed in his vanity, but chose to ignore it. You gotta stop creeping up on me like that. You know I hate it when you do that. Babe, I know you love it when I do that. He gave me that sickly sweet grin that he thinks I love, but I don't. Don't act like that, especially after getting to see the whole enchilado tonight, he winked after the last part. Yes, I know, I said without much enthusiasm. Yes, indeed, tonight was the night, not just the day I turned 16, but also the day when I officially became a woman. Both my besties popped their cherries ages ago. At least that's what they told me, so that doesn't necessarily mean it's true, does it, sweetheart? Especially since they're both brainless pawns anyway. So I guess now it's my time for my rite of passage to begin. So why don't I feel more excited? Because you're giving it to an asshole, and you know this. He's not even an asshole, he's just a tool, a big throbbing tool. That's right, babe, just you and me. I'll just make you feel real good. See, in the back of my car at midnight. Ew, in a car? It's just classless for a classy lady such as Pacifica. And I don't think Mommy or Daddy would approve a car sex thing if we're going to go that far. I have a game to win. Go Fallers. Woo! Is their mascot really the Fallers? Because that's... What does this even a faller look like? What a faller mascot look like? A guy falling down a lot, or what? I don't know. Maybe a giant autumn leaf something? I don't know. Big water... fuck it. Screw it. He put his helmet on and I watched as the last. It was the Great Romantics. The last. Great Romantic. Made his way over to the crowd of his fellow jocks hooting and hollering. The dry humor is good. Where was this in the last chapter? Why is this chapter so much better? I don't get it. I'll have to discuss how he's going to nail the Northwest girls tonight because, of course... Oh well, let's let him have his little moment. I'm the best damn thing that's ever going to happen to him, that's for sure. He better be grateful. Hang on, I know what you're all thinking at this juncture. How on earth did the remorseful redeemed transform nice Pacifica, turning this... Horrible, egotistical, spoiled little snot. Oh, please don't go into more exposition. We can guess. We're not stupid. Well, I'll tell you, reader. Just come closer. Come on now, I won't bite. Come on, that's it. Are you ready? Well, here it goes. Splash, just me pouring a bucket of cold, hard reality on your head. Does it feel very good? Does it? Yeah, it's what I've learned. Probably the greatest lesson I've ever been taught. First of all, I must apologize to my parents. They were right all along. What I construed as child abuse at the time was actually them toughening me up for the cruel dog-eat-dog world out there, where the nice guys truly finish last, and only the ruthless survive. All this crap about happy endings and living your dreams, it's a complete load of baloney. The minute I opened myself up to the world, the second I began to have hope that there was something besides what life had planned for me, was the very day I had my heart broken irreparably. It was the worst day of my young life, worse than all the insults my dad had thrown me, worse than all the times he hit me out of love, I know that now. Worse than all the days and nights he locked me in a cupboard combined, and that's saying something concerning the frequency that these events occurred. Okay, Harry Potter, let's get to the point, shall we? Well, that's over with now. I'm back on the straight and narrow, the very path my ancestors trod. I've lied, cheated, threatened, and bullied my way to the top of this stupid little educational establishment. I'm about to loosen my grip any time soon. I wish I felt a bit better about it, that's all. So, that doesn't matter. My mother and father love me again. Sure, there was a bit of a rough period when I was 12, when it looked like I might be tempted into a more altruistic lifestyle, and they may have had to increase the severity of their methods to return me to the normal. But they didn't have to bother with all that. The letter took care of my little rebellion. Do you know what? It said? Okay, I'll tell you. Remember though, Dipper's letter. This might actually get interesting. Give it just a moment, shall we? You know what it said? Okay, I'll tell you. Remember though, this is all from the depths of my memory, so it may have gotten some... I'm assuming you may have forgot some of the wording, because may have got some of the wording. After all, I tore it up years ago. Dear Pacifica, this is just a hasty note scribbled quickly because our ride has just arrived and we have to get going. I'm so sorry you weren't here to see us off. Not just because we wanted to say goodbye, but also I have so much I want to tell you, much I want to show you. Not Taco Bell. Thankfully. Hopefully. If only we had more time. Damn these short summers. All I can say now is please remember my word. Why did it suddenly go center rather than off to the left? I don't care. Fuck it. Words to you in that secret room at your house. Just because your parents' daughter doesn't mean you have to be like them. You are who you choose to be, Pacifica. Don't ever let anyone take that away from you. I promise to contact you from Piedmont at the earlier opportunity and return to Gravity Falls as soon as I can. I'm assuming he never got back to her and he hasn't been back since. After all, there's so much else to document around these parts. It'd take much more than just one summer to write it all down. I want to hang out with you again, of course. Would have thought I'd be saying that after your first meeting when I handed you those papers through the window of your limo. Mabel sends her love as well as her nice sweater. She insists it's made out of real llama hair. Not sure how that's a selling point. Please wear it for the next time we're in town, which will hopefully be next year. Wait to see you again and call us anytime you want to help. Anytime you want to help, advice, or just to chat. That was me. My brain just for a second. We're always there for you. Be safe. You're sincerely D, with a rather messily scrawled MXXXX next to it, along with a strange picture of a half pig goat thingy. So obviously Mabel's little signature. She did marry the pig and the goat off, so who's to say they don't have a weird abomination of a child? As you can imagine, I was very upset at the time. I even found myself hugging the town's biggest con artist in a contest to see who could cry the loudest and the longest. It was a draw, if you must know. The one and only competition I was more than happy to win. Still, I intended to put his words into action. I started to befriend the residents of the Mystery Shack. Wendy told me about her large family's lumberjacking history. She seemed surprised when I informed her I had my own experience from a ghost from that lineage. 'Cause, yeah, fucking... lost my train of thought entirely. Wow, my brain is just... Seuss, better than Sue, but still is a bizarre name. Like I said, I think it's a short for Jesus, but I could be wrong. It is spelled S-O-O-S canonically, so I don't know. Let me know about his own struggles with family and how he'd found a new one in that little hovel. I also realized he wasn't a servant, but was a fully paid, highly valued member of staff. Go figure. Stanford, the younger of the two older Pine siblings, or the younger looking anyway, began telling me stories about awful things he's seen in other dimensions. It's just the importance of avoiding some triangle guy called Bill. I don't know, sounds somewhat comedic to me. An evil Dorito? Lol. I wouldn't mock Bill. Bill is fucking horrifying. As horrifying as a triangle can get, anyway. Stanley, strangely enough, was the one I connected with the most. He told me how he was a gruff, unpleasant man who always thought about profit until he met the twins. He still is, to some extent, but it had a very positive effect on him. Plus, teaching an old dog new tricks can be hard, but hey, what can you do? And now he felt like he was becoming a better person due to their influence, just like they had on me. For a little while, at least. Aside from that, I did try to break bread with Brenda and Candy by apologizing to their faces. It is Grenda. I kept calling her Gretchen. I feel so stupid now. They gracefully accepted, and I finally learned their names. But we were a long way from being friends. Some people are just too different, I guess. At least I got to see Grenda's pet pluck a fly out of thin air with its tongue. That was pretty cool. Lastly, I put that S on the Mystery Shack sign, only for it to fall straight down again. What a waste of money hiring those guys to do it. It cost me the whole week's pocket money. I guess it'll always be known as the Mystery Hack, whatever. Despite all these new friends, though, nothing quite came close to the pines-shaped void in my life. I miss them like crazy, although if you told them that, I'd deny it under pain of death. Okay, so admittedly this exposition is actually rather not bad, for once. At least I had their fun conversations to look forward to, but weeks and months passed and still nothing. Had they forgotten about me? Was all that stuff Dipper had written down just to make me feel better? Fall and winter flew by, complete silence. Susan Spring was nearly over. Still no word. Eventually, despite the risks attached, I realized something. I had to know. I went down to the shack that day and decided to ask my new friends there for their advice. But something was different. Wendy and Susan weren't there. Stanford had locked himself in his ground floor laboratory, refusing to come out. Even Stan, sitting in his office, wasn't saying much. All I could get out of him was that the twins wouldn't be coming that summer. Then he asked me to leave. He half threw me out, in fact. So I did it. With no other options, I rung them up myself. A few miles out of town, obviously. I couldn't take any chances as far as my parents were concerned. I fished out their contact details, which I'd kept treasured in my purse, and dialed the number. Beep beep. It's ringing. Beep beep. Any minute now. Beep beep. Come on, pick up the phone! Beep, hello? Dipper, is that you? Pacifica. I was wondering how you were. You never called me. Listen, Pacifica, this really isn't a good time. Oh, but you said, Pacifica, please understand what I'm saying. I can't talk to you right now. Dipper, what's the matter? You don't sound like yourself. I can't explain. Just please hang up now. But Dipper, okay, I guess I'll do it for you. Goodbye, Pacifica. Click. This Dipper. Dipper? But there was no one there. The little shit put the phone down. Again, I still would prefer if you're going to swear, just swear. Don't need to censor it. You already say damn. What's the difference? Being the fool I was, I rung him back. Also, the way she keeps saying she rung him makes me suggest that maybe the writer is English. Like England English. Because if I'm correct, rung is more of their nomenclature in that regard. I could be wrong, though. It might be an Eastern thing, too, not a Yeastern thing, because I don't think there is anyone in the East. I tried again, and again. Still nothing. I'm assuming perhaps they're dealing with Bill at home. That would really suck. I don't know why, because it seems like he's kind of stuck in Gravity Falls since it's such a supernatural plane of existence, as it were. Until eventually went straight through to voicemail. I sat down, unable to cope with the obvious truth. Everything he had said to me had turned out to be a lie. I could feel myself welling up again, my eyes filling with water, just like the day the twins left. But then something inside me clicked. Instead of collapsing like I did before, I calmly stood up, wiped the tears away, and went back home to have a big clear out. Out to the dump went a tartan scarf Wendy had given me, a kid's wrench that had once been Seuss's, parchment and ink from Stanford, a tiny fez gifted to me by Stanley, a horrible itchy llama sweater from you-know-who, and last but not least a certain little cap-wearing liar's letter nicely torn into a million pieces. Just so the bin men wouldn't have so much trouble taking it away, you know. Along with him and his crazy sister's home address and phone details. All of them presents, all of them useless. I need them. I need the losers that give them to me. How dare they make me lower my defenses, make me feel for the first time, make me hope for something better, and then just abandon me, as if I was nothing. Well, that was the turning point. I stopped going down to the shack and into town altogether, come to think of it. I reconnected with my parents, said I was sorry for ever doubting them, told them that they were right about everything, and swore to be their good little girl from now on, and together with my two BFFs, we took on a project to rule the school, which meant basically picking on everyone who was different in any way, to let them know who owns them, and that no poor person who would ever put me on their level again. Sometimes I must admit, swallowed my own spit and choked on it. Yum. Good fun. My bad. Just getting dramatic, too. Nothing like your body to fuck up your dramatics, am I right? Sometimes I must admit I did feel a tinsy-wincy bit of regret. I saw that fear in their eyes begging to be left alone, but then I remembered the content of that last telephone conversation, and the way those I had trusted had shunned me, and I just redoubled my efforts, blocking everything out. Except the sounds of their misery. This was my life now, reader. Don't like it? Well, suck on it then. I walked to my next class, fed up with dredging up the past. What good did that ever do? And suddenly the static on the tenoi was I don't think that's a word. Unless it is somewhere else, but I'm just going to ignore it. An announcement. And then there's a crackle. Pacifica Northwest please come to the principal's office. Crackle. Huh? What that could be about? Can't be a show. My family pretty much owns the school. Teachers wouldn't even dare to look at me funny, let alone give me detention. My curiosity piqued. I decided to investigate. My enunciation's not too good right now. I decided to... there's the principal's office. You're saying that as if we can see it. That's a bit weird. Go right in, Miss Northwest. That was his secretary. Put a nail polish on again. What a slacker. I open up the door. He stands up to shake my hand. I hope he's washed them. Ah, Miss Northwest, a pleasure to see you again. We've recently had 2 new additions to our school, and they say they know you. So we thought you'd be the perfect candidate to show them around. Oh, you have just been backed into a corner. This should be interesting. Here are. At this point, the 2 chairs at the opposite end of the desk swung around and faced me. I gasped. I knew these faces. I was actually expecting this to come up. That's because it'd be kind of weird to push it off to the next chapter, but it wouldn't have been bad either. Slightly taller, different clothes, less braces, and yet they were unmistakable. The principal tried to finish the sentence, but I did it for him. Dipper and Mabel Pines? That's the end of Chapter 3. That was vastly better than Chapter 2. I don't know what the fuck Chapter 2's problem was, because it was just a bunch of rehashing of Chapter 1 and then dragged out shit. That actually kind of added interesting plot elements, and I kind of liked the time jump more than I thought I would. I thought it was going to be stupid. And the bullying thing, if I really seemed to get too into it there, it's because I have felt in the same position she's been in. I've frankly had friends who I don't really talk to anymore, obviously. Who, during a particularly difficult point in my life, kind of left me high and dry and weren't exactly nice about it. So I could kind of feel with the character there, so they did a good job so far. This is still like chapter 3 of 13, so I guess we'll see where it goes. Wow, this is getting longer and longer. I should really learn to shut up between sentences, but nah, that's just my show. So, I'll catch you all next time. You all have a wonderful day. See you all real soon.